That is a tune called Donnybrook Fair. It's a great beginner tune, and it was one that I found when I was digging through my old session footage. I posted a video a while back, and Claire and I were talking about doing another collab video here, and that was the tune that we picked because it's a cool one, and I thought it would be kind of fun to break it out. We haven't really played it in forever. Thanks to Claire for jumping in on that one. Make sure you go check out her channel. All her info is linked down below. She plays fiddle, concertina, flute, whistle, dances, all that stuff, so go check her out. Let's break this tune down. I like to think of this tune as deceptively simple. Should be fairly familiar. There's some sections of it that are common in tunes, particularly in jigs in G. There's some fairly repetitive phrases and some cool ornaments that you can throw in, which we'll get to shortly, but let's break down the basic melody first. A part has a pickup note, has a D pickup note. Tune is in G, so the whole first half there. I'll run that again. That bit repeats, with the ending being just slightly different to finish up that part. I'll play that again, so we'll have the whole A part. B part, as so is often the case, jumps up to the second octave. In this case, straight off to a G. That one probably sounds like an awful lot of notes, but it's fairly repetitive sections, and it's one of those that sounds more difficult than it is. I'll run it again, though. Just like the A part, the last half of the B part is fairly repetitive. So the part finishes the same way the A part does. It starts up high, but finishes with that same bit down low. Now, the second time through the B part, it does something a little bit different. So it's just that last line. So rather than that's how it would finish the first time through. Second time through, jumps all the way up to the high B. So make sure that you got some confidence when you get to that note, because those squeaking is an unpleasant sound. So that's the whole melody. Now for ornaments, starting simply, some very simple cuts and slides. So you can cut and slide into that G, cutting the B and then sliding to the B. Again, just a couple of basic grace notes and a couple of slides. Now, if you want to get fancier, right off the bat is a roll. Well, sorry, a cut. Cutting that D pickup note right into a roll on G. Then just a cut there, and then using tonguing to hopefully give that jig groove. My favorite part of that tune is anytime I get to do some taps on E's. It's just such a nice punchy kind of sound. If you can hit that quickly, it's a it's one of those unique sounds to the instrument. And anytime you get to use those, same thing with that C-sharp roll that I mentioned a lot, anytime you get to take advantage of those, I like to. So that's one of those times I would... Just a couple of good quick taps on that E. Roll on B. That's how you could do it if you wanted to make things a bit more complicated. Being on the lookout for any spots you can put in rolls, which would be dotted quarter notes or 3/8 notes in a spot. And then I like to throw in those double cuts. Again, taking advantage of the E because it works well. It's sort of a crayon, but not quite. So cutting with the G finger and the F sharp finger. And then back around with the roll again. The B part has so many of those triplets baked into it. You can cut the first note of each triplet. So cutting that second beat of the triplet. And then a quick short roll there on the end. Back around again. That's the repeat of the phrase on the A part. I do try to mix things up, A part to B part, if the phrase is the same. So you could do a subtle change, sort of dragging out that roll. Originally in the A part we did nice and in line. So to mix it up, you're still doing all the same movements, you're just kind of throwing in a bit of an extra space in the beginning of it. Now the last part where it goes way up high to the high B, I've mentioned this a few times before. My rule of thumb is discretion is the better part of valor when you're playing with the really high notes, so I wouldn't go too crazy, but the B part then finishes. That part's always the same as what we had before. So when you're up high, just slides and basic main melody notes. Quick roll there. If you really want to risk it, you can try and do a cut on that high B. It depends on the whistle, depends on your confidence, and depends on how likely you think it is that that note is not going to break. I hope you all like that tune. It's one that, not the first tune I ever played, but it was one of the first jigs, certainly in the first 2 or 3. That's a good one to start with. So I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, guys. Whoa. Yeah. Yikes.